G'day all, welcome back to the channel. We're back on the internet together again today. We're talking about youth crime spiraling out of control. We have a couple of stories here about teenagers carrying on and going down to schools and parties with an intent to maim and or kill people with bladed weapons. Second to that, we're going to be talking about the taxpayer-funded overspending and reimbursement scandal that's going on at the moment.
Good evening. The rivalry between north and south of the river is being blamed for a terrifying school rampage. 6 teenagers have been charged over the stabbing at Ellenbrook.
Detectives say the gang stormed the high school armed with knives and an axe. The Children's Court heard they travelled from south of the city hunting for revenge over a burst of online abuse.
Chased down after plunging a high school into lockdown. A teenager is cornered by police outside an Ellenbrook home while his gang make a run for it. Only streets away from where they
Here we go. And once again, guys, pictures speak for themselves. I don't need to say it. Usual suspects. What's ever happened to... I'll go back 20 or so years when I was at high school. And this stuff's been happening forever. There just haven't been knives and axes involved. Generally, what would have happened back then, you would have had a dust-up. You got kids from opposite schools who don't like each other in the same school, same classrooms who don't like each other. It happens in every single school, probably around the country. Rivalries, all that sort of stuff going on. What would happen? You'd meet down a local park, and there'd be a punch-up. And that'll be it. Couple of punches thrown. Whoever cops the first couple sort of concedes more or less, and that's it. Now you got people literally going and invading schools, opposing schools with knives, literally trying to kill people. What is the world coming to? And the sad thing about this is I watch these stories now. And because these aren't Victorian, I normally cover Victorian stuff a lot of the time, especially when it comes to the news, as I live in Victoria. But this is stuff's happening all over the country. It is a complete epidemic, I would say, of horrible behaviour. It isn't safe. I wouldn't want to be a parent of a teenage kid at the moment. Especially a teenage boy who you have to worry about what's going to happen. Can they go out and can they go to a party on a Saturday night or a Friday night, a house party? You know, we all know they do it. You go out, you get a few beers, you sit down a local park, you drink a few brown bombers with the boys, you punch a few durries. Right? Those are the days that should be best times of your life. Now you got to be concerned that you're going to run up against a gang of kids who are going to stab you, who are going to kill you. And, you might think I'm overreacting here, but I don't think it's an overreaction at all. Huge problem. And you'll get the government saying it's no problem. Don't worry about it. It is a problem. Every single night of the week, I'll come on to YouTube, I'll write Australian news. Just write Australian news. Do it right now. Write Australian news into the YouTube browser. It's always someone stabbed, attacked, someone every day, without fail. Without fail.
stormed Ellenbrook Secondary College yesterday afternoon in a targeted attack on a 15-year-old boy.
They started yelling once they got to the kid that they're going to kill them or something.
Police today searching for the knives and axe they were allegedly armed with, weapons that
Let me guess, these guys will be, pushed straight out on bail. Straight out on bail.
left the Year 10 student in hospital with wounds to his arm and head.
As a parent, of course, you would feel nervous.
So it's pretty scary for them, but I think the kids handle things pretty well.
Violence ignited on social media. The Children's Court today hearing this was a Southside gang that travelled north of the river to get revenge over a string of online abuse. This group today reposting news stories on Instagram, taking claim for the chaos that unfolded.
Yeah, man, we're living in, what is this, South Buddy Central LA. We live in Australia, guys. It's not the Crips and the Bloods over here, just so you know. Just wasn't sure if you were aware of that. Tupac and Biggie. All the rivalry going on there. Sean P. Diddy Coombs. It's Australia, dude. Suge Knight. What is this shit?
It is very disturbing that a group would want to enter into a school and try and attempt to target an individual student.
2 of the teens will stay behind bars until next week when they'll apply for bail. A 15-year-old was let out, though, despite having previous weapons charges. He has been placed under 24-hour curfew. Another 3 teens will face court at a later date, the youngest just 13.
Things in Ellenbrook have been kind of escalating with the amount of gangs and things that we're finding with the young people. We need to make change, and it's about time we all stood up to say enough's enough.
The 15-year-old victim has been discharged from hospital. Police...
Yeah, enough's enough. Do you think they care? How those, I guess they don't have them in the other states. It probably wouldn't have happened if it didn't have a machete and bladed weapon bin in other states. Far out. All right. Here's another good story for you.
A Moreton Bay family is living in fear tonight after an 18th birthday was interrupted by gate crashes in balaclavas. They claim the group attacked without reason. The police are yet to lay any charges.
An 18th birthday party, then pandemonium. This Clontarf Street turned battleground as men in balaclavas descend on a family barbecue.
Never seen them in my life, ever. Wouldn't even know who they are.
Earlier in the evening on November 15, residents who don't want to be identified say the people inside this green car had been threatening their daughters.
I went straight out, said, hey, what's going on? They wanted to get mouthy and carry on. Fight broke out, then they took off.
But they returned 20 minutes later with a truckload of mates in tow. That's when all hell breaks loose.
Oh, that's a tough looking car, isn't it? Rock up in the Mazda. Is that a Mazda 2? All the boys pile out of the Mazda 2. Gosh, what's going on in this world? How things escalate, over next to nothing. Someone says a couple of words and next thing you know, there's punch up in the street.
It was something you'd see in a movie, mate. It's like, what the bloody hell? Like, what were they thinking?
Initially, it's just brooms, rakes and shovels being used as weapons until...
Knife! They've got knives, they've got knives!
Further up the street, fists fly.
Oi, holy...
With one final farewell from the homeowners. The unwanted guests eventually take off before authorities arrive. The residents left battered, one needing staples to his head. Police tell us they are investigating.
Good times. That's a standard Australian family barbecue. Let's go. What is going on here? Clearly, there's probably got to be something more to that. Who knows, right? But interesting stuff. All right. Mask use intimidating shopkeepers.
Running his normal morning errands, our very own...
This is a Melbourne-based story.
Marty King didn't think he'd be walking right into an attempted robbery. Shopkeepers who've had enough deciding to defend themselves and each other.
It's a beautiful sunny morning. I come down to get the newspaper and I walk straight into this. What do you do when you're suddenly confronted by this? You capture the chaos on your phone. It's 8:30 in the morning. People are going to work. Kids are going to school. And the shopkeepers are going to war.
I was working away. I just heard the commotion and there were punches thrown, chips being exploded, alcohol on the ground.
Mark and Craig run Marbled Meats.
They start to attack me.
Mark runs a grocery store, Foodworks. And this mob, many wearing masks, are running riot.
What a tool who walked straight into the car. Oh, tough guy.
Claims these young people stole alcohol from his shop. He also claims it's not the first time. He makes a citizen's arrest until police arrived. He's punched, slapped, and punched again. So you've got a bit of a black eye and a bloodshot eye?
Yeah, currently it is, yeah.
This is Chesterville Road, Bentley East, a family...
Bentley East, Chesterville Road, far out. For those of you who aren't from Melbourne, Bentley East's it's not a sort of an area where you expect this sort of stuff to happen. So this world is going downhill, specifically Victoria, Melbourne, absolutely cooked. Bentley now, you got this shit going on in Bentley. You got to ask the question though, why are these kids acting out like this? There needs to be a root cause. Is it no optimism for the future so they don't care? I mean, you got to look at that. I'm not excusing the behaviour in any way. So why would someone go and do these things, not even thinking about any of the future repercussions? I know younger people, kids do things, really stupid things, and don't think about these sort of stuff. But you go into shops and you're punching shopkeepers in the head and all that sort of stuff. You surely got to be thinking there's a consequence for that.
Friendly Melbourne suburb. Shopkeepers work hard to make a living. They're preparing for Christmas, but this morning they weren't prepared for this. It's tense and chaotic. Masked youths intimidate and taunt traders. They're threatening and they're mobbed up. But the traders and locals stand their ground. They defend themselves and each other.
A drink, yeah, here. And
They took
all of them.
Get off, grow up. Just stop.
You're old man.
Just this week, Victoria Police began a special operation at 4 major shopping centres, Northland, Eastland, High Point and Fountain Gate, to ensure shoppers and
What about Southland? Don't leave out Southland.
staff feel safe. Police are targeting knife crime, retail theft and antisocial behaviour. But out here in the suburban shopping strips, it's every trader for themselves, and many of them have had enough.
Where are their parents? They should be dragged down here and shown that. That's what the kids are doing. They're running around in pyjamas.
Is it true that one of the girls' mothers came in this afternoon and threatened you?
Oh, yeah. They will do that. I mean, something will happen. Even police will know it.
So she's come and said to one of your staff members,
Yeah.
if you touch my daughter again,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
something's going to happen and the police won't know about it. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, what do you think of that?
There you go. Starts at home, I guess. You got the ferals. We call them the ferals. It's probably commission housing. I'm not saying all people in commission housing are bad, but when you do see a lot of that behaviour coming out of that sort of environment, you do put two and two together, unfortunately. That's probably what it is. Good old Shazza.
I saw was just wrong.
Bruno's been the barber here for 37 years. What happened today has upset him.
And they came out, there's a girl who hit a lady, was hitting people on the street. She broke a bottle on the ground to get the edge on the bottle to go off the mark.
Police arrive. They've been over the road at this Ampol servo investigating similar behaviour, allegedly by the same group. The manager here says the business has been robbed 3 times in as many months.
And that's the thing, that's why these kids also do it, because I was saying, why aren't they thinking about a consequence? But there really isn't one. What do? They go get slapped on the wrist, taken down to the police station, and released, because there's probably no room for them in the the boys and girls homes, I guess, that they'll be put in at that age. They just let them out, don't do it again, this is a warning. There was a story that I saw recently where a guy, he had been bailed 55 times. And on the 55th time, he went out and he stabbed someone. We're living in it's literally a post-apocalyptic world or something going on here. People are just losing their shit.
Police arrest several young people and traders go back to business. But Mark is fearful.
I just a bit afraid they come back. Yeah, because...
You're afraid if they come back?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What's the solution?
We need more cops coming around the streets.
Victoria Police confirmed 3 teens were arrested. 2 male staff members were treated for minor injuries at the scene. They also told us that a teenage boy aged 16 and 2 teenage girls aged 14 and 15 all received a caution.
There we go. All right, let's quickly jump onto this story. But before we do, way more than halfway here. If you're liking the channel, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. Let's get the channel growing. Let's get it out there. Appreciate all of you come and watch me frequently. It's great to see.
Thought was
care into the decisions I make around my program.
Politicians are not special. This is a quote. I don't want to hear that this spending is within the rules. It's common sense. It's too much money.
She was spending, I think, like $100,000 on flights and accommodation to go to New York. I mean, have you heard of video calls or Zoom?
The saga of Sports Minister Annika Wells using her family reunion entitlements to go to Thredbo with the family or to have her husband join her at various sporting events over the last couple of years is pretty well known. It doesn't pass the pub test. Most Australians think that it constitutes a misuse of parliamentary entitlements, even if what she's done is within the rules. That's because family reunion as a concept is something that you would think would always bring the family together. This seems more about the sporting events for the husband, or indeed the chance to get to Thredbo for a skiing holiday, or a chance even for the minister and her husband to get a bit of a weekend away that includes a bit of sporting activity and get away from the kids.
Yeah, that's it. Guess who's paying for that? Me and you. How these things get pushed through and signed off is a complete farce. You do that in any other business, you're bloody sacked.
This doesn't feel like the right kind of thing to use a family reunion benefit given to the political class to leave your kids at home, fly to a sporting fixture and have the husband and wives get a bit of alone time. Any parent can understand why they'd want to do that, but why is the taxpayer paying for it? It'd be one thing if the minister was getting free tickets because of her sports minister role, and as a result of that, her husband decided to come along, pay his own way with his airfare, and join her at the event. That's okay. That happens a lot in politics as well as corporate life. But to do it all on the taxpayer and put it under the banner of a family reunion scheme, it's just wrong, even if it's not illegal. You've then got the defences being...
It is wrong. It is completely wrong. Well, why should we be paying our taxpayer money to fly people around and to put them on holidays under these benefits that these politicians get? I think everyone's having a pretty rough time at the moment. Well, a lot of people are having a hard time when it comes to money, when it comes to job security, when it comes to just outlook on life. And you got politicians out there just spending up, and who cares, right? Because it's a full tab, and you guess who's paying? We are. Never-ending tab.
Used to save Annika Wells, her parliamentary colleagues, ministers in particular, even the Prime Minister, fronting up to the media and trying to say that there's nothing to see here. Why? Well, they tell us that's because it's within the guidelines. We know it's within the guidelines. But who writes those guidelines? The politicians. So the politicians are saying there's nothing to see here simply because the rules are being followed when those rules are written by them to their benefit. If the average Australian, and I think most Australians, don't like this sort of usage of parliamentary entitlement.
I don't know any person who would say, I like that being done. It's, God, that's our money. It should be used for the betterment of the overall community, overall maintenance of roads, infrastructure and all that, which it is. But not as a slush fund, so people can get around claiming extortionate travel expenses when they're already being paid quite well, once again, out of the same taxpayers' money. It's just not showing any respect. At the end of the day, like politicians and all that, they think that they're running the show, but they're working for the people. We're paying them. So I don't know. I just think it's a complete abuse, really. I don't know how much money was involved, but I think there are numbers thrown around. I saw something along the lines of tens of thousands of dollars. You know, that's just taking the absolute piss, isn't it?
Through taxpayer funds, if the average Australian thinks it's wrong, well then the politicians need to have a look at it and change it. Whether the minister stays or goes isn't really the point here. The point is, what is a reasonable use of taxpayers' dollars, particularly in a time of a cost of living crisis where most of us are sucking in our belts and not spending money on these sorts of things. At its heart, what's really wrong with what's happened around Annika Wells's sports rort saga that are technically within the rules is this. It is a case of that classic politician snout in the trough mentality.
So there's a big hoo-ha about Australia's communications minister at the moment because she was spending, I think, like $100,000 on flights and accommodation to go to New York. I mean, have you heard of video calls or Zoom? That's what the rest of us plebs use. So she just flew first class, had some family trips, recently did a ski trip.
I mean, if those numbers are real, 100K. That needs to be reimbursed. That is absolutely ridiculous. And she's on, a decent salary, 400 grand. Taking the absolute mickey, tell you that much.
Those are saying, oh my God, she needs to do it for the government. No, she doesn't. She can fly on a plane in a normal seat because it's government-funded money. It'd be all okay if you're in a private industry, but you're using taxpayer money to pay for your flights. Oh, and just to let you know, she earns $400,000 a year base rate. So she's on $400,000 a year, but still uses taxpayer money to go over to New York and go skiing with her family.
This idea that culturally it's okay for them to bend the rules but stay within it, for them to give themselves all manner of entitlements that are outside of their salary structure. This has been the way that the political class have kept their salaries down but their benefits at large for a very long time. The family reunion policy in theory makes sense. Politicians...
Don't get me started, it doesn't make sense to me. What other business gives you that benefit? But let's talk about, or what other job will give you that benefit, even if you're a higher paid director level or executive level employee, or who's going to pay for all that? I understand business travel will be covered, but what, bringing families over and doing all this and that for trips? Come on. It's not acceptable in any way. But my final remark, I don't want to watch this whole video, my final remark here is the biggest reward of all time is, I'm not sure if it still exists for outgoing prime ministers, but essentially they get paid forever after leaving their posts as prime minister and other senior leadership positions in government. Some of them get a payment or like a pension. I think it's 75% of their salary or 50% of their salary of what it was for nothing, for doing nothing. They just get it into perpetuity. That's just something to me that is just incredibly wrong. Just giving people money for nothing, for jobs they're not doing anymore, and the taxpayers are paying for it. I don't think there's any way to justify that. Is there any other job there where if you get voted out or you're no longer in that position or you get sacked or you resign or whatever it is, that you continue to get paid in this whole planet? No. It just seems like it's making rules to benefit themselves. Anyway, that's my rant for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.